Invited by the Bishop of Kilmore to educate the local children, the poor Clares moved into their convent and school in Ballyjamestuff in the late 19th century. For many years, the nuns ran a primary and secondary school in this building. Clues to the building's religious past can be seen in the original architecture as designed by William Hague in 1883. Bought in the late 1990s by Cavan County Council, the building became home to Cavan County Museum in 1996. With the intention of preserving, protecting, displaying and promoting the heritage of County Cavan, this beautiful building has been home to the County Museum ever since. The largest room in the museum, once its chapel, is the boat room. In the corner stands the Killycluggan stone, one of the most famous pagan Iron Age symbols in Ireland. Dated to the Iron Age by the Latin-style art engraved on it, its artwork is over 2,000 years old. The stone is one of only 4 examples found in Ireland, with similar stones in Galway, Roscommon and Antrim. The stone was identified in the early 20th century in Killycluggan, near Templeport in County Cavan. It's linked in Irish folklore to the pagan god Crumcruach. Legend states that St. Patrick found the local people worshipping the stone. In his anger, he struck the stone with his staff, splitting it in 2. At the other end of the room stands the Loch Errol logboat, which gives this room its name. This boat was found in sediment on the shore of Loch Errol on the Cavan-Leitrim border. It's over 1,000 years old, 25 feet in length, and the boat is made from oak. It was probably used for transporting animals and people across the lakes and waterways in the area. There are several banners decorating the room. This banner, entitled Mná na Héireann 1916 to 2016, was made by the Erne Quilters as part of the 1916 centenary. It features 3 panels with hand-stitched symbols representing important aspects of the lives of 3 significant female figures from the early 20th century. Across the room, there's the Orange Lodge banner from Belturbet Temperance Loyal Orange Lodge 348. It features a portrait of William of Orange on horseback. It's believed to have come from the Ballymena Christian Crusaders Orange Lodge. It wasn't unusual for lodges to loan or give banners to other lodges. The Green Ancient Order of Hibernians banner belonged to the Knockbride branch. It features the figure of Irish soldier Miles O'Reilly, or Miles the Slasher. He is chiefly remembered for his defence of the bridge at Finney in 1646. Down through the Eden Gallery we have our Gaelic Games galleries. Our Camogie Gallery houses photos, cups, medals, commands and schlitters, pinafores and match programmes from around County Cavan. The walls are covered in team photos featuring different parishes that played camogie in Cavan over the decades. The photos span the period from the 1930s to the 2010s. 2 unusual matching ceramic trophies from Alacan Camogie Club, who were county champions in 1923, and the Cavan County Camogie Board Minute Book from 1932 to 1945 are among the interesting artefacts on display. The Cavan Football Collection tracks the early years of club and county football in Cavan. Cavan's men's senior football teams have won All-Ireland in the years 1933, 35, 47, 48 and 1952. In 1947, Cavan made history as the only team ever to lift the Sam Maguire Cup outside of Ireland. That year, the final was played in New York to commemorate the centenary of the Irish famine in 1847. On display are many photographs, a referee's whistle, football boots, schlitters, match programmes and a range of medals from notable Cavan footballers. On the first floor, you will find our costume display known as the Pighouse Collection. Donated to the museum in 1996 by Mrs. Phyllis Farris, the collection was originally displayed in an unused pig house beside her home at Core House, Cornafane. Phyllis had a great interest in history. She became a member of Cumann Seanachas Brefne and served in turn as its chairperson and president. Phyllis advocated for a county museum to be established, and when the opportunity arose, donated her collection to the museum. The Pighouse collection has been part of the county collection since the beginning of the museum. A thatched cottage sat in a room surrounded by a farmyard scene. Thus is set a familiar traditional Irish scene of hearth and home. The kitchen dresser displays patterned delf and crockery, and irons warmed by the fire. All around are items that were widely used in rural Irish homes between the 1850s to the 1950s. Outside the cottage, we have a display of early machinery used in homes and on farms. The collection reminds us of the slower pace of life in rural Ireland in the 19th and early 20th centuries. The golden era of the Cavan Railway is celebrated on the museum's first floor. Train stations were established all over the county, with many pictured on the wall in our ticket office. The arrival of the train to County Cavan in the 1850s brought about a new age in transport of both people and goods. Special trains to Dublin for agricultural shows and bank holidays encouraged people to travel to and from the county. Attending All Irelands in Croke Park became easier with special match day trains. Transportation by train had a huge effect on people's lives, both in domestic life and in the world of trade and commerce. It was eventually overtaken by road travel, and Cavan's railway stations were all closed by the 1960s. The Famine Gallery provides information about one of the most devastating periods in Cavan's and Ireland's history. It refers to the potato famine in Ireland between 1845 and 1852. During that time, approximately 1 million people died and a further 1 million fleeing the country. Of those who remained, many were forced to enter into workhouses. In doing so, a person gave up their freedom in return for the promise of food and lodgings in their time of need. This was the fate of many during the 19th century and especially during the famine. The famine pot in the corner of the room is a simple but stark visual reminder of life in the workhouse. It's hard to contemplate the number of starving people this pot has catered for. One of the wealthiest families in Cavan, the Baron Farnhams, owned thousands of acres of land throughout the county. The first members of the family settled in Ireland at the end of the 16th century. On display in the Farnham Gallery are many items which the family has donated to the museum, including a selection of Farnham papers, photographs and artefacts. The oldest artefacts in the museum are displayed in our prehistoric gallery. From the Mesolithic to the Iron Age, the objects on display are a testament to human ingenuity over time. The weapons, jewellery and musical instruments are thousands of years old, all found in Cavan and surrounding counties. The eerie replica of the Corlech head. The three faces are not identical, each has a distinctly different expression. Pottery fragments and flint tools give glimpses into life in prehistoric Cavan. In our medieval gallery, the artefacts date from around 400 CE to 1700 CE. They are associated with everyday life in medieval Cavan. There are items linked to clothing and cloth production, such as ring pins, brooches and spindle whorls. We also have beauty items such as beads and a bone comb. Food and drink items such as potsherds and goblet and a wooden maether, wooden dishes and bog butter. In the corners stand the Sheila na gigs. The mysterious carvings are found all over Europe, but many examples are found in Ireland. Some think they were used to ward off evil. They date between the 1100s to the early 1600s. The upper stairwells in the museum are home to the Farnham family portraits. Several generations of the Maxwell family are represented here. Percy French is probably Ballyjames Duff's most famous adopted son. Born in Roscommon, he studied engineering at Trinity College Dublin and graduated as a civil engineer in 1881. He took up employment with the Board of Works in County Cavan as an inspector of drains. Percy French was a prolific songwriter, author, poet, entertainer and painter. It was during this time in Cavan that he wrote some of his best material, including Phil the Flute's Ball and Come Back Paddy Riley to Ballyjames Duff. A talented watercolour artist, some of his original paintings are on display in the gallery. As this was a former convent of the Order of the Poor Clare Nuns, it's appropriate that we tell something of their story in our museum. The nuns' gallery is displayed in one of the former nuns' bedrooms, also known as a cell. The theme of this gallery is the everyday life of the nuns, their devotion to God, and their involvement in educating the young people of Ballyjames Duff. A turbulent time in Cavan and Irish history The War of Independence ended with the establishment of the Irish Free State. The gallery details the events happening in County Cavan during the period from 1919 to 1921. The jail scenes highlights the experience of those who found themselves interned at that time. Jane McCormack's Museum of Broken Things is a museum within a museum. This is a collection of things which are meaningful to the artist and which she has collected throughout her life. This collection is a modern treasure trove of artefacts which make up the Corachanvi hoard, displayed as if it might be in the future when these items have lost their meaning. Cavan County Museum is now home to the largest outdoor replica trench open to the public in Ireland and the UK. The trench is becoming a must-see attraction for visitors since it opened in August 2014, and includes sound and visual effects to enhance the experience and educate visitors on life in the trenches in World War I. The trench, built to the specifications and manuals of the Irish Guards and used by the Royal Irish Fusiliers at the Battle of the Somme in 1916, is over 350 metres long and includes frontline, communication and support trenches. It's popular with schools and visitors alike. It's an important reminder of the 752 Cavan men who did not return home after the war. The Nuns' Walk is a 2-kilometre looped trail. This wooded trail circles the museum and ends in the Old Town Graveyard. On the walk, visitors can find information boards placed along the walk, giving you the natural heritage and social history of the area. Beside the start in the museum car park is the Old Nuns' Graveyard, the final resting place of many of the women who lived and taught in this building. The role of Cavan County Museum is to collect, conserve and display the material, cultural and historical heritage of County Cavan and its environs. The museum brings the stories of the past to life, celebrating local traditions, archaeology, folklore and the lived experience of generations. Whether you're a curious visitor or a lifelong resident, the museum offers a unique journey into the soul of Cavan.